So what happened to this channel, huh? That's I'll never remember those there. What happened to this channel is that's what Robert Herrera, he asked me that today. Robert, thanks for asking. The reality is life got in the way, and it happens. I keep trying to commit to being here for you, and I'm sorry, I'm not very good at it. But a lot of it's for great reasons. Things have been pretty wild around here lately. A lot going on. And then I hit slow season, which is why I have a few minutes here to talk to you. I just did a few pieces that I will make their own videos for. Let me show you a couple of them. Today I'm filming this on Friday, and next Tuesday is this wedding. You have seen parts of this invitation before, but you haven't seen the whole thing yet. I haven't shown it to you yet, but I'm not going to show you all of it right now. This is it, and they are actually having a welcome brunch, a welcome party on the 26th, which is in just a couple days. I will show you my favorite feature of this invitation, which is this. I created a little lip here and a little catch so that the 3 non-invitation pieces fit in the envelope in a way where they're not gonna flop around. You know, a belly band can take care of that, a clip can take care of that. There are a lot of ways to do it. I like building integrations into the envelope that hold all the little pieces that would otherwise flop around. This is another piece that I can show you more of later. The reason I can't right now, part of it is because it's like, it's a promotion that's going on right now. It's a private promotion for a group of VIPs. But this is the part I'm really excited about. Check this out. How awesome is that? I built a little elevator from this leather strap. By the way, if you haven't been able to tell, I really like gray a lot lately. So anyway, these projects have gone out. I can't wait to show you more. The wedding, after the fact, I'll show you. The Lake Como wedding planner, Rachel Berthestel, and her team are planning it. Gianluca Adovasio, I think is how you say it. Gianluca is the photographer on it. To the Moon and Back is doing film, which I'm really excited about. I haven't encountered them before, and now that I've seen their work, I cannot wait to see how the film goes. This wedding is going to be amazing. Oh, and Tulipina is doing the flowers, and she, Kiana, is one of the most amazing florists out there, and she's doing the florals on it. This wedding is going to be just insane. I'm doing another Lake Como wedding, actually at the exact same venue. I'm working on that invitation right now. I can show you more of that later, not yet. Well, a few months ago, I went to Sid Mashburn in Atlanta, and one of the things that really struck me about the space, like the people are amazing. I could talk about that for hours, but I'm talking about this, so I'll tell you this part of the story. They have a really great mood board in there, and it got me really excited about the idea of what it would feel like to create my own. So I haven't got a whole lot to put on it yet, but what I'm most excited about right now is just the overall composition of it. These are actually sheet pans from a friend of mine. He has a food truck that's literally the best restaurant in town, and he had some dead sheet pans that he gave me. And then I went through 2 different iterations to find a really great dark cork. I actually painted the first round black, but it was a thin cork. It wasn't glued well. Actually, this probably went through 3 or 4 iterations of gluing to figure out how to do it. So trying to figure out what that looks like and what a mood board for me looks like. And, you know, a lot of interest in materials and things like that. This is a piece Jimmy DeResta sent asking, actually, I need to check with him and see if we identified it right. He wanted to know what this material was. He found it in a dumpster a few years ago and wanted to print on it. And it's a cool paper. Pretty thick, but we tried to identify that for him, and I just love that kind of safety orange. Well, it's not quite safety, but I love that orange, and I want to find a way to use it that doesn't feel Halloween-y. Of course, I've got copper and leather and and wood down here because those are the kind of been my go-tos lately. But I'm trying to find good little samples of some other materials that I'm interested in using. I had to put one of these up here, this when in doubt, look for the fear. We're hardwired to avoid the unknown because the unknown could contain danger. And so fear is a mechanism that our brains use to help us notice the unknown and try to avoid it. The challenge is in the unknown is where real potential lies. And so, if you read any great business books or self-help books even, they talk about the idea that you should lean into the fear because the fear is a sign that you're heading in the right direction. Constant reminder I need to myself. I also have one of my Toastmasters ribbons, and I want to talk to you for just a minute about Toastmasters. I had some skill gaps that I wanted to close in the way that I communicate. So I joined and have found an incredible group of people in my Toastmasters club. We've got people who literally, they could be Dale Carnegie, very kind of classic, inspirational speakers from a different era, honestly. And they present in a way that I would never present myself, but I glean so much from the energy and the enthusiasm and the passion and the ability to do something I don't do very well, which is prepare thoroughly, yet be able to be kind of off the cuff. Seth Godin wrote a really great post recently called Awkward Memorization. You should read it. And the idea of this post is essentially when you memorize a speech and you have memorized it deeply, you will, he says, watch a great performance and you'll see no artifacts of memorization. Let me just share it with you. The spread of TED Talks means more and more people are being put on stage and told to memorize their talk. This almost always leads to failure. It's not because people memorize too much, it's because they don't memorize enough. Watch a great performance and you'll see no artifacts of memorization. Instead, you'll see someone speaking from the heart, and I'll let you read the rest. But essentially what he's saying is something that I have tried to learn to hold dear to, which is to just know your crap cold, to know what stories you want to tell and to tell them. My dad's a pastor, and I don't know that I've ever directly asked him this. I would always watch him prepare for Sunday morning, and he would walk up to the platform with pages of notes that contained sentences on them. Out of respect for his privacy, I never picked them up and really read them. But they just had pages and pages of sentences, and it looked to me as though he was writing out the entire sermon. And yet I never found him in a place where have you ever seen someone speak and they're talking and then you watch them pause and you can watch them rehearse the lines they just said? It's like an actor at a community play. Now, I have been that actor, so I'm not knocking them at all. But they've memorized the lines, but they haven't fully immersed themselves in the character, and so they are waiting on the cue of someone else or the lines they had said previously to help get them to the next place. Musicians do the same thing too early in their careers. It's this thing that speakers do. You'll notice that if they have memorized to a point that they are easily prompted by cues from what they said to get to the next thing. But if they get any hiccups, any distractions, they have to kind of re-speak those lines, whether out loud or in their heads, to get to the next place. And what Seth talks about is the idea that essentially if you just know the stories, if you know what you want to say, give yourself, a prompt if you need it, a note card or whatever with the stories in order, and just get there. Work the transitions. Transitions is something that I'm working on. Honestly, I just want to get this video to you, so I haven't put a ton of effort into thinking about what story arc looks like in it. And it's something that I've been challenged to do more of in these videos, and I will, I promise. But right now, it's something worth sharing. This was a really great post I read a couple days ago, and it had me thinking a lot. Toastmasters has been amazing for me. It's an incredible community. Because of my dad, because I grew up watching someone I knew intimately speak multiple times a week, I came in with a decent baseline understanding of what it meant to be a communicator. And because I'm a jazz musician, I understood what it meant to improvise. And so if I know the stories, I can get up and improvise cold pretty easily. In Toastmasters, you have to pick a path, and I've picked a path that's specifically about planning, about how do we get to a spot where it's not fully improvised, but it's not fully rehearsed. That spot in the middle, for me, it's a sweet spot I don't know how to get to, but I'll get there one day. Not a ton of other changes in the studio lately worth noting. I can't wait to show you Joel and Shane's wedding invitation, and I'm going to do that next week. The wedding's on Tuesday, and once the wedding's hit, then I can show you that stuff. But I don't want any of you buying a ticket to Lake Como and showing up at this wedding. So we are going to wait until after that for you to see it. In the meantime, if you have any interest in public speaking, Google Toastmasters, find your nearest club, just show up. They're not going to do anything to you if you don't want them to. If you're so inclined at my club, on your first night, you can be asked to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a topic that's given to you off the cuff. It's called Icebreakers. It's a really great way to kind of dip your toe in the waters. Speaking in front of people can be really scary. This is a really great way to kind of get the ball rolling. Oh, I did forget to mention, the whole reason Robert asked what's happened with this channel is the last upload I did is an upload of an Instagram live I did with Cicely Rocha Miller of Life Design Events. I have another one in the can with Matthew Myram. The 2 I did after that got lost to the Instagram ether. I don't have those, but they're on a separate playlist. I was just going to keep them as a playlist and upload them, but if that causes confusion, let me know. I'll find another way to do that. But I'm having conversations with people, specifically in the wedding industry, about weddings, about how they approach them, about how they work with clients. And, I may have a station or 2 on, but most of them are other people, the people really that I am working with or want to be working with. So, I announce those on my Insta stories. Follow me on Instagram if you're not already. And I'll go into the whole reason later. But for the first time ever, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, hit the notifications button if you haven't already. If you watch Veritasium, probably one of my favorite educational channels on YouTube, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. He explained why it's kind of a necessary evil now. But if you enjoy what I do, if you enjoy these videos, there will be more press videos soon. If you enjoy all that kind of stuff, go ahead and hit the notifications button, smash that like button, do the whole deal. I will see you next time. Thanks.